This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Although I am entertained by people that aren't necessarily willing to, view the obvious and what's going on with the University of Miami football program. And I know I'm getting DMs and Twitters and, emails and pissed off Canes fans because I'm telling them that the program's done. It's done. Stop thinking about national titles and all that stuff. And, Barry Jackson came out with an article yesterday and talking about how, in the article, his sources are saying, hey, Julio Frank isn't necessarily a football guy. And you know what I love about that article is that they actually, he entertained Mario Cristobal, like what it would take. And how effing stupid must you all be if you actually think Mario Cristobal would come here? First of all, if you actually think they would spend the money to bring Mario Cristobal here, you got to be really stupid. Seriously. After watching what's gone on the last 15 years, to think that you're going to actually get any other result or any other type of coach, man, can you be any more naive at this point? Seriously. Come on, man. I get it, man. Some of you Canes fans, you're so effing delusional. You thought you were going to hang with Alabama. Some of you thought you would beat Alabama, which I don't know how you would even think that with this coach. And the other article out of is the worst tackling team in the country. And this is what I want for the University of Miami football program from here on out. To just go get a decent coach that knows how to coach. That's all. I know what you are already. You're not going anywhere. You're never going to win another national title again. You're never going to be relevant again in college football. My Lord, this is a program that used to intimidate, and now they're so intimidated that they can't even tackle. Now they refuse to tackle. I just want you to let that marinate right there, okay? Tell Ray Lewis that they refuse to tackle. The late Jerome Brown, tell them that they refuse to tackle. Okay? I mean, think about that. The worst tackling team in the country is the University of Miami football team. And sometimes they choose not to tackle. They don't even want contact now. Can you imagine that? That's how sad. So really, in the end, I told you already what this program's going to be. The late 70s. I lived it. I know it. I watched it before they actually became relevant and became something that other people knew about. They would actually spit out players, right? I mean, there were players that were still going to the league back in those days, right? I mean, Ted Hendricks was a great player. Came from here. But that's what you're going to get from now on. And all I want is just get me a respectable coach that knows how to put a football team out there on the field. I know what you are now. You're hopefully one day you'll run into a decent young coach that will give you a couple decent seasons and then he'll move on. He'll take you to a Peach Bowl. He'll take you to Gator Bowl or something. Great accomplishment for him. And then he'll move on to bigger and better things. But the University of Miami is never bigger anymore. The University of Miami is not better. The University of Miami is not the place where football coaches need to come to. They don't need it anymore. They don't want it anymore. Why? It's a pain in the ass. You've got an unrealistic fan base. You got a delusional fan base. Excuse me, damn. So you have to deal with that. You know how delusional this fan base is? Excuse me, damn. That's the part that, to me, wow. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I got this thing there to cough. All right, so this is a fan base that can't handle reality. They don't even see reality. I mean, if you still have hope, you're not realistic. Because if you've watched the last 15 years and you read that Barry Jackson article and you can tell that they're not even in a hurry to fire Manny Diaz. And they won't fire him. I'm telling you, I've been telling you this, unless the man's committing crimes, they're not going to fire him. They're not going to swallow 2 years of the salary. They'll try to give you all the bullshit and try to correct it in the offseason and give you all the hype again, and some of you will get suckered again, and then he'll have another bad year, and then maybe Blake James, to save his ass, will then can his ass and then bring in another mediocre one. The best line of Barry Jackson's article in the Miami Herald is when they said, well, Blake James, the football program's yours. You know what that means? Work with what you got, bro. We're not giving you resources. So you have what you have. That's it. And this isn't the kind of school that's got a bunch of boosters that are going to pay for a head coach, an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator. They've never been that. And that's not going to start here either. There is no desire. Like I had some desperate Canes fan. I told them, bro, they're about academics. They're kicking ass in academics. He goes, well, they're not as highly ranked. And I'm like, have you been on? See, that's the other problem with most of you UM fans. Okay. You've never even been on the damn campus. That's the hilarious part about you guys. Have you been on that campus? Have you watched how it's grown? It's like a city. My daughter's been part of that medical program. They got their branches all over the place. That's where they're making their money. That's who they are. And they'd rather invest in something else to expand their medical program and get more students and go in that direction than use any of their academic money to fund the football program. It's not important, dude. Just isn't. I get it. You hate me. I'm a dick. I'm a jerk. I'm Mr. Negative. I always get that. Whenever I give you the reality of something that you don't want to hear, I get it. Because, see, that's the problem, too. The unrealistic Canes fan, to a certain point right now, is pathetic. That's what it is. You're kind of pathetic at this point because you refuse to look at reality. That look at what you've been what they settle for. They settle for Coker, and they settle for Randy Shannon, and they settle for Al Golden, and they settle for Diaz. And even with Mark Richt, dude, they paid enough just to get him in there, but they didn't really pay enough to get a real staff. The dude wanted to, hire his son. I mean, it just this is the stuff that it's sad that this, what was once a great program is gone, but that's the reality. I'm going to watch UM every week. I'm going to root for UM every week. Hopefully I'll go to a game or two every once in a blue moon. But I know what they are. I just want, what I want to see now? I just want to see competent football. I know it's going to be at a lower level. I know they're barely ever going to even challenge for the Coastal anymore. Maybe once in a blue moon, they get lucky and they get on a little roll and they win the Coastal or something and surprise and then get their asses kicked against Clemson or something like that. But those days of Miami being the powerhouse and all that stuff, it's been over for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. It's been over for a long, long time. The problem is that a lot of you out there, you don't want to come to that reality. And that article right there that Barry wrote, you might as well look at it, read it over and over, and it tells you all you need to know. Except for, of course, the silly part where, you start calculating what it would take for Cristobal. Like, Cristobal would be stupid to take this job. Why would he be a dumbass and take this job? You guys would have him fired by the following season. Because you would think, oh, Cristobal takes over. He has to win the national title next year. It would be terrible. I wouldn't even, at this point, considering you don't have the resources, it would be suicide for him to take this job now. Just would. He's already dealt with no resources at FIU. Why is he going to go slightly a notch up? Doesn't make any sense.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.